Alright guys, let's talk about this stuff right here. This stretchy little cord right here, this is the shock cord. And basically what you're going to do is you're going to attach this to your nose cone, and one end will go to your nose cone and the other end will go to your rocket. Okay, so it's this stretchy stuff right here. Well, if you look on here, it's going to ask you to get your shock cord and your shock cord anchor pattern. Well, you can find that on page number 15. That's the page that has the fin template as well. So what you will want to do is you're going to want to take that shock cord pattern, see it right there, and just get you a little piece of paper here, and you can trace that shock cord pattern just like this. Okay, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Okay, then you're going to cut it out. So I am going to cut out my shock cord anchor. I just got it traced. I use the pattern on page 15, and here is my anchor that I'm going to attach the shock cord to. Okay, you will basically do something like this. You're going to get your shock cord like so, and you're going to connect it right there on the end. And what I would suggest doing is maybe get a tiny little piece of tape like this. Okay. So as you can see, I've done this. I have taped one end of the shock cord to one end of the anchor here. You could also glue it if you'd like. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bead of glue right here in the middle, and I'm going to fold it over on itself like this. Okay, just like that. Easy. I am going to put another little dot of glue there, and I'm going to fold it back over on itself like that. Just like that. Okay, so this actually will at some point get put inside of your rocket to connect the shock cord to the nose cone. So after that is a little bit dry, you will take this other end right here, and you're going to get one of these screw eyes and attach it to the other end of the shock cord. And I would suggest doing a double knot. That way your knot doesn't come undone. And let me see if I can get a knot going here. And it's kind of a delicate process here. Just bear with me. Got one, but I want to do two here. So just loop that back in on itself. Don't have to do anything sophisticated. Just want to have a tight little knot here. Okay, so I have this kind of thing going on here. I got the screw eye on one end of the shock cord, and then I have the shock cord anchor that I made out of paper on the other end. Okay, and this is going to ultimately get put inside of your airframe, and then the nose cone will get connected to this other piece. Oh, guess what time it is, y'all? It's parachute time. I got a parachute right here. It's just a little plastic parachute that they give you in the kit. If you don't have one of these, you can use a plastic grocery bag and cut it into a 12-inch square. But we got these cool little parachutes, so what we're going to do is we're going to cut along the dotted line. You see that dotted line? So you're going to start cutting this thing out until you get it all the way cut out. Alright guys, so now what we're going to do is, you see these little holes right here? OMG, look what we got to do. We got to get the hole punch on those. We're going to take a hole punch and punch them out. Now you think this would be easy, but you know what happens? When you put the hole punch in there, it kind of squishes in, and it doesn't really work. You're like, hey, Mr. Mutter, that's not working for me. So one way that you can do this is when you put it in your hole punch, hold it tight like that. Now, if you hold it tight like that, then you can get your hole to go. Okay, and you'll see it sort of didn't quite cut out the whole entire thing, but it got the hole to open up. Okay, and then what I can do is I can take the part that didn't come off and just trim it. Okay, so I got a little hole there. Now, if using the hole punch is not your thing and you're like really frustrated by that, what you can do is you can use your X-Acto knife and cut out a little hole around here. Okay, just like that. Doesn't have to be perfect, you know. And the idea here is you want to get all of those cut out. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different holes around the edges of the parachute that you're going to need to cut out. So either use an X-Acto knife or you can use a hole punch. Just remember that if you use the hole punch, that you need to hold the plastic tight in order for the hole punch to successfully punch through. Okay? See? Now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get some of these little hole reinforcements right here, and I got 6 of those, and you want to go around each one of the little holes that you punched out, okay, and put a little reinforcement ring around it. So again, you just take your little hole you punched out, put a little reinforcement hole right there, and this will help make your parachute a little bit stronger. So you want to go around each one of those holes and reinforce each of the 6 holes. Okay, now that we've got all of our holes reinforced, we're going to set that aside, and what you're going to do is you're going to work on some shroud line. And shroud line really is just twine or string, and this is what the parachute will get. The parachute will get some strings tied to each of these 6 points. Now for the shroud line, you're going to need some twine or some string, and what you're going to want to do is cut 6 14-inch pieces of twine. Okay, so I've got my shroud line right here, which is just some string, and I'm going to measure out a 14-inch piece. So, as best as I can, I am going to cut right here at 14 inches. And if you don't get it super perfect, that's okay. And the idea here is we want to cut 6 14-inch pieces of shroud line here. So I'm going to get those cut out. Now guess where those 6 shroud lines are going to get attached to. You are going to attach those 6 shroud lines to the holes on your parachute. And all you really have to do here is just secure them with a simple knot. I'm going to do that right quick. Hopefully I can remember how to tie my shoes here, make a knot. Okay, so I'm just going to get a simple knot going here. Just like that. There you go. Now you're going to want to do 2 of those at the minimum. There we go. Okay, so get the string tied on each of these holes. Alright guys, so here's what will happen. We're going to take each of our 6 strings on our parachute here, and what we are going to do is we are going to attach them to the screw eye or the eyelet. So you will need to take all 6 of those and attach them to this little eyelet right here. Okay, see how you're gonna have to thread it through the hole there? So get all 6 of those shroud line cords from the parachute and get it secured and tied into this eyelet. So guys, here's what you do. You get your strings attached to the eyelet like that. Okay, it's kind of tricky. Alright guys, it's time for us to make the engine mount assembly. I need a couple of things for that. I'm going to get the engine tube right here. I'm going to get a couple of spacer rings. I've got 2 right there. And then you're also going to need the engine lock. Now, what you'll want to do is at about 1/4 of an inch, and I've measured that out right here. It's about 1/4 of an inch right there. I'm going to put a bead of glue and go around the whole entire launch tube. Okay. Now, I got a little messy, and that's okay. I'm going to take this. I'm going to get my engine lock on the outside like this. Okay. And I'm going to slide my spacer ring over the top. just like that. And you will want to put the spacer ring about 1/8 of an inch down. So let's see. So I need to go a little bit more. I'm gonna slide that down. Ooh, that's too far. Let's check that. Let's see about that. So that looks pretty good. That's about 1/8 of an inch down. If you're not super exact with it, it's okay. Alright, now for the next part. I have drawn about 1 inch from the bottom. I made a little line right there. And what you're going to do is you're going to apply another bead of glue around there. And you're going to get your other spacer and slide it up like that. Okay. And if there's a bunch of glue on there, it's okay. Just wipe the excess off and that will dry just fine in a few minutes. Okay. So your engine mount assembly should look like this. Your spacer should be up about 1 inch, like that. Okay. This should be coming down about 3/8 of an inch. This should be at about 1/8 of an inch right here. And it should look like this. Mine's real gluey and that's okay. This right here will just kind of be at the top right there. This will be coming down like that, so it looks like this. So this is about 1 inch up. This is about 1/8 of an inch down. So this is the engine mount assembly, and what will happen is eventually the rocket fuel engine will get slid into here. Alright guys, we are now going to take the shock cord anchor, which was this thing right here, and this is attached to our parachute. See how we got the shock cord attached to the eyelet right here? The parachute's attached to that. Well, what we want to do is put some glue on here and put it inside of here. Now, they suggest that you put it in there about 2 inches. So you want to just you know, kind of freestyle it and guesstimate about 2 inches into there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some hot glue, go in here. Be careful, that burns hot. It'll burn you. I'm going to slide this into the tube. And I'm just going to put it about 2 inches in. Okay. That's about 1 inch in, but that's okay. It'll be fine. So you get your shock cord anchor attached inside of your rocket about 2 inches in. Now it's time for us to take the eyelet or the screw eye, and we're going to screw it into the nose cone. Now when you screw this in, don't do it super tight. Just make sure that it's on there. We're just going to kind of screw that in. And we don't want to go so tight that it cracks. Just get it in there good. That looks pretty good. Okay. So I've got my shock cord anchor glued into the inside of the tube. My shroud line is connected to the eyelet, and the eyelet got screwed into the nose cone, and that's all connected to the parachute. So it kind of looks like this. You got shock cord anchor attached inside the tube. Shock cord runs up here to the nose cone. Eyelet gets screwed into the nose cone. The shroud lines get attached to the parachute and are screwed into the or tied into the eyelet right here. So you have parachute, shroud lines right here, shock cord attached to the airframe. Alright guys, so we're going to take and put the engine mount assembly inside of the airframe. Now what you'll want, see the little engine lock that's sticking up like that? You're going to want to put that inside like this. Now I'm at a little bit of resistance because I have a little paper tube going there, so I just kind of twisted it in like this. Okay. Now what you will want to do is you're going to want to have about 1/4 inch of the engine tube extending from the airframe. So I'm going to just have it kind of going out like that, which is good. So I'm going to get a little bit of glue and just kind of put it right in there and get that glued in there. And again, I want about 1/4 inch of it sticking out. It's fine. And I'm going to use some hot glue for this. You can use Elmer's as well. I just decided to use hot glue. Either's fine. Okay. So I've got it sticking out just a little bit like that, and that's okay. So you want that to come out about 1/4 of an inch. So you've got your engine mount assembly, your nose cone, shock cord, shroud lines connected to your parachute. Alright guys, now we're going to insert the engine, and we want the propellant side to be down. You don't want to put the propellant side going in that way, that won't work very good. So your propellant is this stuff right here. Now you'll notice that you're not going to be able to get it in there because this is in the way. Well, we're going to have to bend that back a little bit, like so, just to get it in there, and we're just going to slide that in. Okay. If you need help bending it back, let me know. I'll help you out with that. So I'm going to take my pliers here and get that bent back. And we're going to slide that in. Okay, now I've got it slid in there. Okay, so it should look like this. Alright guys, now we're going to get some flame-proof fire retardant paper here, and this flame-proof chute wadding, we're going to wad up into a ball, and we're going to stuff it into the airframe. And this wadding right here, it protects the parachute from burning when the engine ejection charge ignites, and it will also help eject the parachute. So what we're going to do is wad this up into a little ball, and we're going to take and we're going to stuff this in. Okay, so I'm going to get a little dowel here and just stuff it in like that. You can just stuff it in until it kind of hits the engine down there. And you'll feel it give you some resistance. Okay, so that's going to help protect the parachute. So don't forget to put your flame-proof material inside of there. Alright guys, now it's time to take our parachute and fold it up. And what we are going to do is we are going to fold it into fourths. So I'm going to take it, fold it in half, and then I'm going to fold it in half again like this. And then what I want to do is I want to roll it up. Okay, just like this. Okay, and then I want to carefully wrap the shroud lines, which are these right here, and you want to carefully wrap them around your parachute like that. Okay, then you're going to stuff the shock cord into the rocket. Okay, and then you're going to, when you get this shock cord in there, you're going to stuff the parachute in there as well. Okay, you're going to get all that stuffed in there. So shock cord first, then parachute, then get your shroud lines in there. Okay, and then put your nose cone on top and give it a little twist like that. Okay, so there it's in there. Alright guys, it's time to install the igniter. So this little thing right here is the igniter, and what happens is an electric current gets passed through these 2 points right here, and it sparks and it lights off the rocket engine here. So we're going to take this in right here, and we're just going to push it into the butt of the rocket right here. And what you're going to want to do is push it in as far as it'll go, and it's not going to go that far. And what you'll do is you bend it like that sideways, and then you are going to take a launch plug right here and just plug it up like that. Okay, so if you did it right, you should have your igniter coming out of the side like this. So you just stuck the little end in there, and then you put the launch plug right there in the butt of your rocket. So that is the last step. Your rocket is ready for ignition.